Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Tonight is our faith talk night. It is Monday night, and I'm excited about this topic. It's something that I talk about pretty much every single day. And so, for those of you that don't know who I am and you are watching this channel on YouTube or you're watching me on Facebook, wherever you're watching me from, my name is Chanel Renee, and I am a lifestyle consultant, coach, I'm a trainer, mentor. I do quite a bit of things actually. And I love what I do because I help people to navigate through difficult times in their lives so that they can revolutionize their future, so that they can live out God's best in their lives. And so, one of the things that we talk quite a bit about is healthy boundaries. I know boundaries has kind of been a term that we use. We've been using this term for a while now. People are talking about healthy boundaries because people, they're tired of being codependent. They're tired of, past generations having so much control over their lives. And so now, this current generation, we're talking a lot more about independency and healthy boundaries, learning to say no, learning that no is a complete sentence, all of those amazing things. And so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries, what does that look like? One of the things I will say about healthy boundaries isn't a tool or strategy to keep people out of your life. If you are using the term healthy boundaries to shut people out of your life, to kick people out of your life, to not be accountable to the people that you're committed to or in relationships with, then that's not the term that you should be using. Okay, boundaries are a fence. Boundaries are what helps you to stay healthy, what helps you to be emotionally healthy, physically healthy, even, and mentally healthy and spiritually healthy. So all of those things help with maintaining a balance in your life. And so the reason we talk about boundaries is because sometimes we allow people to cross those boundaries. We allow people to encroach on our territory, the things that we are in control of, the things that belong to us, the things that we are responsible for. And so, y'all let me know in the comments if you've ever had your child, after you told them not to eat in the living room, right? They try to still kind of sneak in there with some chips and cookies, right? And you get upset because you've set a boundary, you set a rule, you set restrictions because you pay good money for that furniture, you pay good money for that carpet, and these kids coming in and they eating and smacking and dropping their cookie crumbs and chip crumbs all over the place, and you got to get that cleaned up. Okay, if a drink falls, guess who got to pay to get that cleaned up? If cookies and stuff fall and nobody cleans it up, guess what happens? You got to get an exterminator out there. So it's the same thing when it comes to our peace, our joy, our happiness. We have spent a lot of time cultivating the peace that we have, the joy that we have. We have gone through a lot of things. I don't know about y'all, but I paid the price to have the joy that I have. I paid a price to have the kind of peace that I have. And when people walk in or out of my life, um, I will say, you know what? Sometimes it is sad to see people leave, but at the same time, my peace isn't rooted in them. My joy isn't rooted in people staying in my life. My happiness isn't rooted in them. My happiness is rooted in my relationship with God. And I'm not trying to be all churchy tonight, but this is a faith talk. And my happiness, my joy, my peace, I had to decide one day that I was not going to root that in people anymore. I had to decide that I was no longer going to give people the power to control how much peace I had in my life. I wasn't going to give them the power to control how much joy I had in my life. And so when people decide that they're going to walk out and show me something by walking out of my life, I was like, okay, bye. Like, look, I'm going to smile tomorrow. I'm going to be happy tomorrow. I'm going to be moisturized and unbothered tomorrow because my peace was not rooted in you. If your peace is rooted in people, listen, people be out here peopling. Okay? And if your peace and your joy is rooted in them, guess what? When they walk out, if they walk out, they're going to take your peace with them. They're going to take your joy with them. Okay, and so we've got to people are peopling. Okay, and so you want to make sure that you are setting up space in your life to where you are able to say, you know what, I love having you in my life, I enjoy having you around, you enhance my life. And when you have a healthy relationship, that's usually what happens. People will come in and they are attracted to the joy that you have in your life with or without them, and they want to be a part of that process. And that's okay. But what happens is when people come into your life and they're bringing chaos with them, then that's when you got to say, you know what, it's time for y'all to go home. When people come to your house and they causing all kind of commotion, guess what? There's a door, right? Called a boundary. And you could say, oh, you could take that chaos outside. I'm not telling you not to have chaos, but you can take it outside. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here, right? And so that is kind of what boundaries is. Boundaries allow you to say what stays in your house and what doesn't stay in your house, what stays on your property and what's not on your property. One of the things I liked about real estate was you got to see how much land a property had. And so, when I was out showing houses and selling homes, I people will be interested in, okay, is that my bush, is that my tree, is that my apple tree, is that their apple tree, like all of that stuff. And so sometimes we would have to look at the plans, at the boundary lines, the survey, to see if that tree belonged to the neighbor, if the tree belonged to my buyer, right? And it's the same thing with your boundaries. You've got to be clear about what that is. What I may put up with, guess what? Naomi may not put up with. Okay? And if Naomi isn't clear about what she is allowing in her yard, guess what? She's going to be offended when you do something that she don't like. And so we've got to communicate with people. You know what? I really would appreciate that you're on time for our lunch date today. I really would appreciate that you show up on time for your appointments because I have other things going on after I see you today. I really would appreciate if you call me and tell me that you're not going to come instead of, just having me waiting here for you. All of those things are respectful of people's time, respectful of people's space, respectful of people's, of their emotional capacity and stability. And so the thing about boundaries, you cannot give that away. And also, stop taking on responsibility that don't belong to you. I'm gonna say that again. Stop taking on stress. Some of y'all are stressed. Some of y'all are just ridiculously stressed because you're stressing out about something that is not even your business. I mean, you're supposed to be drinking water and minding your business, and you worried and stressed about something that does not belong to you, something that is not within the boundary lines of your property. I know we talk about enlarging our territory, but guess what? When we enlarge our territory, that territory belongs to us. That responsibility belongs to us. When God enlarges my territory, guess what? I don't think my neighbor's going to volunteer to cut my grass. So guess what? When he enlarges my territory, that all of that grass belongs to me. Right? That's right, Tania. Is ridiculously stressed for no reason. And so we've got to remember that what God has given us, what God has shown us, proven to us to be, that He's faithful, that He's seeing that how we're faithful in those things. That's because we have been responsible for those things. We have been responsible for the things that He has given us. Those of you that work for somebody else, you show up on time, you do your job. Guess what? You may get promoted. Now you have more responsibilities. But while you're doing your entry level job, guess what? Why are you worried about what your boss's job is? Why are you worried about what they supposed to be doing? You're not getting paid to worry about what they're supposed to be doing. Okay? They made a clear separation of what you're supposed to be worried about and what they're supposed to be worried about. And when it comes down to you worrying about some stuff that is above your pay grade, guess what? You need to ask for a raise. You need to ask for, listen, you are enlarging my capacity. You are enlarging my responsibilities at this moment. And so I need to be compensated for that because that's taking up a little bit more capacity than what I was doing here before. All right. And so with all the things, the wonderful things that you have accumulated, your alabaster box, right? You have got to protect that. It is your responsibility to protect the peace that God has given you, the joy that God has given you. It is your responsibility to protect that. And what happens when you don't protect that? When you don't protect that, you are a totally different person. No wonder you're so irritable. The reason you're irritable and irritated and irate is because you let somebody take your peace from you. You let somebody walk out and take their all of your joy from you. You've given someone else power to have all of your peace, all of your joy, all of your happiness. And they have officially walked out with it, and you're trying, and you're irritated, and you're frustrated, and you're hurt. All because you've given that over to somebody else and it didn't belong to them. It didn't belong to them. It wasn't there. They should have their own joy. I tell people that come to me for consultation or advice about effective communication. I say, listen, stop telling him he's your everything. Stop telling her she's your everything. Stop telling folks that. Stop giving people that power. Stop giving people that level of responsibility. First of all, they don't even have the capacity to take care of your being your everything. Let's just start with that. They don't have the capacity to take care of being your everything. Okay? So stop putting that on their shoulders. Their shoulders aren't. I'm sure he's a strong guy. He lifts weights. He's amazing. But guess what? He don't have enough muscle to carry his stuff and your stuff. Okay? He don't have all of your stuff. Okay, so you've got to be okay with coming up with some of your own hobbies, coming up with some of your own goals, coming up with some things that is purposeful for your life. And guess what? He's got things that's purposeful for his life. And when y'all join that together, y'all are a force to be reckoned with. But when you have him being responsible for your purpose and his purpose, guess what? He's going to burn out. It's called burnout. And you wonder why he's not performing the way you want him to perform. You're wondering why she's so irritated. You're wondering why y'all can't get along. It's because there is an imbalance of responsibility. People are not taking their responsibility for their stuff. They're not taking responsibility for their stuff. And one of the freeing things that I will say to y'all is this. This really freed me. When I was really able to own who I was, I stopped blaming other people for who I was. That freed me because guess what? If I wanted to change who I was, I had the power to do it. I didn't have to wait on them to apologize to change. I didn't have to wait on them to recognize they did me wrong in order for me to change. I didn't have to wait on somebody to say, you know what, Chanel, I shouldn't have done that to you. And so, I know that's probably a trigger for you. I didn't have to wait for somebody to validate that for me. I was able to say, you know what, I'm this way because I just don't like that. I'm this way because I kept letting that person interrupt me over and over and over again. And so I felt like I didn't have a voice. And I'm going to control that now. I am going to have a voice. I am going to say, you know what, excuse me, I was not done talking, and be able to get my point across so that I don't leave a conversation feeling like I didn't say anything. I didn't get to share any of my ideas. Sometimes women, I think that a lot of women are watching tonight, but sometimes women, we are guilty of walking away disappointed because we did not feel heard. When we didn't speak up for ourselves. Listen, sometimes you may be going into boardrooms where people they are not going to pass you the microphone. They may not pass you the microphone. So you've got to say, excuse me, I have an idea. I have something to say. Okay? And then your voice is heard. And guess what? Your idea is probably the best idea in the room. Let's just be honest. Your idea is probably the best idea in the room. But people may miss out on it because somebody didn't hear you when you was 10, and so you withdrew into that mindset that nobody wants to hear you. We want to hear you. But you've got to recognize and take ownership of what you do, and know that you have the power to change it. I hope that is setting somebody free today, because you have the power to change it. Stop waiting for somebody to validate you. Stop waiting for someone to affirm you and say, okay, it's okay for you to do this. No, no, ma'am. No, sir. You have been appointed and anointed by God. And when He has appointed and anointed you with fresh ideas, witty ideas, inventions, voice, all of that stuff, He expects you to use it. He is not coming back looking for excuses. He's not coming back looking for you blaming somebody else. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. The servant that hid his talent because he had all of these excuses, guess what? It didn't go well for him. So it's up to us to take responsibility. God has given us 5 talents, 10 talents, 15 talents, whatever, however many talents He has given you. And He expects you to do something with it. He's not looking for you to blame nobody. He don't want to hear you blame nobody. He don't want to hear no woulda, coulda, shouldas. He don't want to hear any of that. So set up your healthy boundaries. Communicate. Listen. You got about, you, as a matter of fact, this is the last time you're going to talk to me like that. And then you begin to navigate around people that don't respect your boundaries. You just move around them. You just move around them. That's it. Because guess what? There are people that want what you have. They want to be a part of what you're a part of. They see the value in your life. They get it. They respect it. Find those people. Find that. Find that tribe. Find those people. And guess what? You will begin to see that your voice matters, that your ideas matter, that your boundary setting was not in vain. It wasn't in vain. It was so that you can protect your peace. You know what? It's so funny. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna let you all go tonight because I don't want to be on here too long. But I have gone through some of the craziest things. I have witnessed some of the craziest things in my life. And it's so funny because some people, they're like, Chanel, you just seem like nothing bothers you, and you just walk around as if everything. I said everything isn't always good. But guess what? My peace, the roots of who I am, are not rooted in temporary things. Money comes and goes. Things come and go. But guess what? Purpose, why I am here, is here to stay. And so I am rooted. The Bible says in Psalms, I believe it's 119, 165. Those who love the Word of God, those who love God's instructions, will have great peace, and nothing shall cause them to stumble. Listen, that set me free. I said, why am I worried about people and things that it really, in the grand scheme of things, it really don't matter. It really doesn't matter. Jesus was like, people just be peopling. Like they fickle. Folks they can like you one day and hate you tomorrow for no reason. Like just because they woke up on the wrong side of the bed and it was raining outside and now they don't like you. Like that's just how people's opinions can go, right? About you. And so if you root yourself in what people think about you, what they say about you, how they feel about you that particular day, you're going to be all over the place. So make sure you are rooted in God. What does God say about you? What He says about you isn't changing. What is He saying about you? What is He saying about the purpose He has on your life? What is He saying about how He's moving on your life throughout this day? What is He saying about what you were purposed for today? Right? And so He has equipped you, He's prepared you, and you are ready to take on and command your day. You are ready to take on and go to another level. You are ready to go into another season. It is a brand new day. I'm telling you, when I began focusing on that instead of how people's feelings were that particular day, I was like, okay, well, we'll just see what tomorrow's going to bring. We'll just try again tomorrow. We'll just try again tomorrow, because tomorrow it's going to be another good day. It's going to be another good day tomorrow. So I hope that that message freed somebody tonight. I really, really hope that you understand the price that you paid for your alabaster box. Don't just give that away. Don't just give people your joy, your peace just because. Listen, protect it. Protect your peace. Protect your joy. Protect your love. When you protect your love, you have more to give. You have more to give and be able to receive it. But don't just let people come in and frivolously in and out of your life and do you any kind of way. No, ma'am. No, sir. No. Mm-mm. You ain't got to go home, but you got to go. That's it. I still love you. You still love them and you move around. You just move around. So, again, it's Faith Talk Tuesday. Continue to walk Monday. Faith Talk Tuesday. Faith Talk Monday. It is another great day to continue to walk by faith. Stop looking around at what things look like, because that's not faith. But look through the lenses of faith and walk by faith. Let the love of the Lord be shed abroad in your heart by the Holy Spirit, and let his lamp and light lead you. Be led by the Spirit of God. Be led by the Spirit. Don't fulfill the lust. If your flesh is going to tell you all kind of stuff. The flesh is going to tell you to give up. The flesh is going to tell you go off on them. The flesh is going to tell you to worry about stupid stuff. Don't worry about stupid stuff. Think on the things that are true, the things that are a good report, the things that give God praise. And as a matter of fact, put a praise on it. And I promise you and guarantee you, your whole mindset will change. Look for opportunities to change your mindset. Protect your love. Protect your peace. Protect your joy. It's your girl Chanel Renee. If you're not following me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so you can see all the other videos that I have put up or that are going up. And, you could just be a part of that community over there. Facebook, I love you all with the love of the Lord. You know I do. And I will see you all next week, hopefully, for another Mindset Monday. Y'all have a great evening. Take care.